अधुना वयं शैक्षिक अनुसंधान विधि विषये द्विसाप्ताहिक कार्यशालायाः नवमदिनाङ्कस्य द्वितीयसत्रे वयं स्मः। अस्मिन् सत्रे सर्वेषां पुनः एकवारं स्वागतं व्याहरामि। बहु कार्याणि सत्ये अपि अस्माकम् आह्वानम् अङ्गीकृत्य अस्माकं समीपे आगतवत्याः प्रोफेसर् डी शारदा महोदया ताभिः अपि स्वागतं व्याहरामि। ताः महोदयाः अस्माकं अनुसंधान अंतर्गत रिसर्च रिपोर्ट कथं निर्मातव्यं तस्मिन् विषये अस्माकं समीपे सम्यक् रूपेण बोधयन्ति इति कामये। अतः ताः अनुरोधे भवत्याः स्वीय प्रस्तुतिं प्रकटयन्तु इति सम्प्रार्थये।
Today we are going to look into the errors in research. Earlier we have dealt with research problem selection, research design, ROL, that is review of literature. All these are errors we come across in our research. They are related to the research design. Somebody might have dealt with the sample size, so the sample size selection, etc. Next slide. Errors in research. A research error refers to any mistake or deviation from the correct procedure that occurs during the process of conducting research, leading to incorrect or unreliable results. That is, in the data analysis, in the data collected. Majorly, the main types of research errors classification is random error, systematic error. These are the two types of errors. Next one. Two types of errors, that is random error, systematic error. Next slide. Random error is mostly to do with it can be corrected by correcting the sample size. Sampling errors, population errors, non-responsive errors, measurement errors, processing errors. These are the random errors. Here, sampling errors meaning the technique followed for sample selection, that is the sample size should be proportionate and representative. Population errors means the whom you are studying, their characteristics should be defined and listed much earlier so that your subjects are selected as per your population characteristics. Non-responsive errors is there may be some people who do not respond. You have selected them, but they do not respond. So that also comes as error. Next one is measurement errors. What you want to measure, that is validity is what you want to measure. If you measure, that is validity. If you measure, reliability is and validity comes under measurement errors. Processing errors. In processing, some people once what happened is serial numbers also were included in the analysis. So processing errors is right statistical techniques, right data has to be selected for processing. Next slide. So errors is reflected like this. Just now she has explained about the normality curve. That the frequency of distribution, it explains towards the error. The distribution of X with random error, that is the green color. The distribution of X with no random error. It's indicated. Notice that random error does not affect the average, only the variability are on the average. Random error, systematic error is more difficult and dangerous than the random error. I don't say one is better, but random error can be corrected, but systematic error is more difficult. It affects the results itself. Next one. Sampling errors. Sample is a section of population that is chosen for the study based on the characteristics of such subjects needed for the research. You will decide on whom you want to conduct the research. The age group, the gender, locale of the study is also decided, where you want to conduct, and then on whom you want to conduct, what are the characteristics, their age, gender, educational status, occupational status, all inclusive criteria or exclusive criteria includes the characteristics. An error in sampling occurs if the sample selected for the study does not represent the study population. So it should be representative of the study population. The researchers allow a margin of error, which is, you would have heard of the probability. Probability is only a margin given to correct the error. The researchers allow a margin of error, which is the amount allowed for error in sample selection to represent the difference between the sample size and the population. Sample size is usually 5% or 10% of the total population is selected. Next one. Sampling error. A statistical error that occurs when the analyst selects a sample that is not representative of the population being studied. For example, you see among the flowers, which is not representative is selected. Next one. What is sampling bias? So you have decided about the result, and purposefully you select so that you can arrive at that particular result. Sampling bias is purposefully you will select that to get the result as you wanted. So that is even more dangerous, and for convenience sake also people select sample which leads to bias. Bias in sampling error occurs when some members of a population are systematically more likely to be selected or not selected in a sample than others. That is, in sample selection, all the units should have an equal chance for inclusion when selected in the sample. Some members of a population are inadequately represented in the sample. Sampling bias affects the generalization of research findings as it is a threat to external validity, especially population validity. For example, in community studies, if you go to the main village, because it's very easy, as you know, a main village have several hamlets surrounding areas belonging to some different communities also, some hamlets will be there. So without going, you select the sample mainly from the main village. What happens is, those people in those hamlets are not represented in your sample. So the generalization leads to incorrectness. Next one. Population errors. A population specific error occurs when the researcher does not understand who they should survey. If you are not clear about who are my population. So for example, you want to study the 10th class final state exam going students. You have number of schools. You have corporate schools, you have private schools, you have government schools, you have aided schools, different types of schools are there. They are there in different areas, north, south, east, west, different parts of the town. So you must select a list of all the schools from DEO office. Classify them, categorize them, all registered schools into corporate, aided, private, government. And you can randomly select one or two. Your sample size is only 500 students. So this number is nearly thousands. So what you can do is select a corporate school or different corporate schools. So this is the sample size. From private school, this is the sample size. From government school, this is the sample size. Among them, girls so many, boys so many, like that. So from these you have to select the sample from different parts of the town, and then only you have to be very clear about all the 10th class students studying in corporate, this schools, aged between, maybe higher age also people may be there. You want to select only these students belonging to this age group. And maybe this particular second language Sanskrit or second language English or medium of instruction in the same school may be different. And the same school also you have classes like IIT and different sections are there. Which section you want to select? All this you have to define and boil down to your population, describe the characteristics. That way you can describe your population and define the characteristics and be clear about on whom you want to conduct the study. This type of error occurs when the researcher is confused about or unable to understand how to identify and choose sample groups for a survey or a study. That is, if you are not clear about your population, then this problem arises. Population specification error is caused by selecting an inappropriate universe or population from which you want to collect the data. Here, locale of the study is important. So, particular population, is it not whole India? Is it not it is not whole state? It is not whole district. So, where you are placing your study? If you have a study title, you are mentioning Andhra Pradesh, maybe representative 3 regions of Andhra Pradesh you can select. One district, one district, one district. Among each district you can select one mandal, one mandal, one mandal. From each mandal again you can select, this is called cluster sampling. Each mandal again you can select panchayats. And from each panchayat again you can select habitation. There you have to be very careful. A habitation, a panchayat consists of marginalized people and residing in different hamlets, not in the main village. So you are choosing population, selecting the subjects from this hamlet 1, this hamlet 1, this hamlet 1, it is only 10, and main village so on. That is, all are included equally in your study. That is important. So your population sample should be representative of the population. The sampling frame is a list of population members from which the sample units are selected. An ideal frame identifies each member of the population once and only once. Frame error is caused by using an inaccurate and incomplete sample frame. Because it's difficult to select sample from a vast population, people use sample frame. Sample frame is a large number you select. From this frame again you choose a sample using standard methods. Maybe random sampling technique you can use, but first you have to choose for selecting the areas and groups. Cluster sampling method should be used. Once you have identified the clusters and selected the sample, from them again you can select the sample. Subsample can be selected. The sample frame and sample. Next one. Non-responsive errors. This is among the random errors. This is the next type. That is, some people do not respond. So I ask some question. One answers. I ask the next person. My opinion also same like him. He will not spell it out also. So this is also non-response. Non-responses totally do not respond, or you replicate the response of the others. So non-response errors are very difficult because they will not give you the result. Here example is this type of research error can occur when the people in the sample are unwilling or unable to participate in the study and differ from the participants, that they do not respond, they do not fill in the questionnaire, they do not answer all the questions, or they may reject to participate in the study itself after the selection. Non-response errors affect the entire study because not all sample items appear in the data, where some participants may not answer all or some of the survey questions. that is incomplete responses. It is also difficult to generate. This has to be checked then and there and replaced with another sample unit. The investigator collects all the data, at the end he looks at the data, it is very difficult. Next one. Measurement errors. Measurement error is the quantification or assessment of variable or factors included in the study. The tools selected and used for the study need to be valid and reliable to control measurement errors. To deal with measurement errors, the best way is to use multiple measurements of the same construct. You know, for measurement, the data, once we decided the data needs, we have nominal data, somebody might have explained, ordinal data, interval data, ratio data, discrete data, continuous data. So what type of data you want to use? You know, for the nominal and ordinal data, mostly we use non-parametric techniques. But there also mode and other things can be used. And for other data, you can use the parametric statistics, and these graphs can be drawn like just now Madam was explaining about the different curves, etc. So measurement errors occurs. If you want a higher level of, you want to see the difference, your purpose of the study is to see the difference between two populations. If you want to study the effect of classroom education on the performance, so the data should be according to them. That is, when you select your tools, you have to be very careful depending upon your data needs. If you have not measured what you required, finally if you want to analyze, it may not be possible. So measurement data is very, it should be decided while selecting your tools itself. Next one. Processing errors. Errors in data coding and entry affects the results. Now, then and there it can be uploaded. The responses on tab you collect and then it can be uploaded. Earlier times, the questionnaire paper is used and you enter again. So at that time what happens is at the entry level in Excel sheet, if you are not entering properly, if there may be mistakes in entry. While entering the row and column, it is not cell, if it is not correctly entered, then there may be errors. Coding has to be done. Once you decide your questionnaire, the first step is to code your questionnaire depending upon the type of measurement. So, as you know, for computer purpose, you give assign 0, 1, 2, 3 numbers, not alphabets, etc. So you have to be, same code cannot be given for each response, for each question. So you have to be very careful in coding the answers. Multiple answers are there, they have to be coded. Processing error includes processing related errors in data capture, coding, editing and tabulation of data. Finally, what kind of table you want also you have to be decided. What kind of table you want, how you want your table. That also, entry is one thing, analysis is another thing. How you want your table to be, so that you can write the analysis, interpretation and results and discussion meaningfully. Next one. Systematic errors. Systematic error is caused by those factors that systematically affect measurement of the variable across the sample. Systematic error mostly relates to design, defects in design. Unlike random error, systematic errors prone to be consistently either positive or negative. Because of this, systematic error is sometimes considered to be bias in measurement. This occurs in tools like weighing machine, spring balance. Spring balance is continuously, if you use spring stretches, the weight of the individuals, it increases. If error is not corrected, or after two people, if you are not using another weighing machine, giving rest to one weighing machine, again reusing another weighing machine. Some techniques have to be followed while collecting the data. So if it is not done, what happens? It leads to error. Systematic error is caused by those factors that systematically affect measurement of the variable across the sample. Unlike random error, as I explained, it indicates bias in measurement. Systematic errors can skew the data and lead to false conclusions. These errors can be overcome by selecting an appropriate research design. Research design, when we mean sample, that is population, sample size, tools, methods, data collection, analysis. Tools, as I said, depending upon the type of data, nominal, ordinal, interval, discrete, what is the data you want. Methods also. So these are all related to the systematic data. Systematic data is irreversible. At least random error can be corrected through statistical applications. Next one. The distribution X with systematic error, red. The distribution X with no systematic error. Earlier random error, it is overlapping. The curve is overlapping, slightly bigger. That's all. The distribution is expanding. Here is completely wrong. It is showing skewness. Notice that systematic error does affect the average. We call this as a bias. Next one. So these are the errors in research. So in designing, tool selection, sample selection, if we are very, very careful, then we can overcome the errors in research. So that is, you have to cross-check, validate at every step. Go back and check, is everything went well or not? That is very important. Ethics in error, ethics in research, sorry. Ethics is related to the morals in research. So morals nowadays nobody is correcting in society, but research it is correcting. You are audited for your morals, you are questioned, and legal action also will be taken if ethics are not followed. Ethics in research. Ethics is a personal code of conduct based on respect for oneself, others and the environment, and is guided by principles or assumptions that support how individuals or organizations should behave. Research ethics includes the application of basic ethical principles in research, which include the design and implementation of research, respect for society and others, use of resources and research results, scientific misconduct, and regulation of research. This is, we have to be objective, careful while conducting the research. We should acknowledge and cite the sources. All these things come under the ethics of research. Next one. Ethics in research. These are the few ethics which are expected to follow. Honesty. Strive for integrity in all scholarly communication. The outcome of research is always communicated. Maybe halfway through also we communicate our results. We must say so. This is yet pending and only part of my research I am communicating. Report data, results, methods and procedures and publication status honestly. Do not fabricate or misrepresent. Do not mislead colleagues, research sponsors or the public. So you are working with some other person. Without informing that person you want to publish your research data, without including that person's name as a surprise. Maybe you are worried that she will say 1001 things, she is a perfectionist, she may not finalize the paper, so in hurriedly you want to publish. So without showing her, you give her the credit by giving her name, but you are not showing the final article to her and you are communicating. This is also not correct. Objectivity. Try to avoid bias in experimental design, data analysis, data interpretation, peer review, hiring decisions, grant writing, peer review, and other aspects of research where objectivity is assumed or required. Avoid or reduce bias or self-deception. Disclose any personal or financial interest that may influence the research. Somebody has contributed, your guide or some other person in the department. They should also be acknowledged. Finances for this, funding for this is received. That also has to be acknowledged. So objectivity is correctness in conducting the research and data presentation, everything. Next one. Integrity. Integrity, person should be composed. Integrity, keep your promises and agreements, act with sincerity, strive for consistency of thought and action. That is, a person should be balanced. That is what we mean by integrity. That is, some people are highly impulsive, sensation seeking, would not want to reveal, show that they want to publish and that they are going ahead of others and things like that. So that kind of initiations should be stopped and should be balanced while presenting your data. Avoid careless errors and negligence. Carefully and critically examine your own work and the work of your peers. Keep good record of research activities such as data collection, research design, correspondence with agencies or journals. Evidence is important. In the data, in the article you will mention that data has been collected from such and such a school. Permission letters you should keep. Your seeking permission letter should be there. Their granting permission letter also should be there. And then consent of the all participants should be taken. That also should be there. All evidences we must keep, and if somebody asks, we must be able to answer. And should not be careless. Like you have to be very careful in writing also. Many people write AM, PM also, the punctuations and other things wrongly. So that has to be, people have to be very careful, cross-check. Now Google is there, you have cross-check and then write carefully. The typographical errors, all those errors should be avoided. Openness. Be open to criticism and new ideas. Everybody may criticize, many people may criticize, your colleagues may criticize. We have to be open, critically think where I went wrong, you did not go wrong, you should be able to defend with evidence. Transparency. Disclose all the information needed to evaluate your research work. Keep all the information with you, ready, and then you can always defend yourself. Next one. Accountability. Accountability is like responsibility. You should be accountable. Hold responsibility for your part of research and be prepared to give an account. So said it is wrong. Why did you use this particular tool? It is 10-year-old. There is another one. Why you did not use it like that? Somebody may question. So you find out the defect in the succeeding one and your preference for the earlier one, you keep an account and then you can defend yourself. So you have to be basis for your selection, you should keep with yourself so that you can give your accountability. Intellectual property, IPR. IPR is intellectual property rights. There is a different court also, for separate court for this also. So IPR is an important one. Respect patents, copyrights and other forms of intellectual property. Do not use unpublished data, methods or results without permission. Provide appropriate credit or acknowledgement for each research participation. Never plagiarize. For educational purpose, most of the tools, most of the pictures if you are using, they are permitted with prior permission. Many of them, if it is funded research or a private research, they'll expect you to pay. Even MS Subbalakshmi picture also you cannot download and put it in your thesis. You have to take permission from them. So earlier in our university and our department, we have a fashion technology. They download various fashions, undergarments. So we asked, so there is a question of plagiarism. The law person said, you remove the head of the model, there will not be any problem. So you must take the suggestions from the legal experts, how it is necessary to put that picture, but you can't buy it. Maybe 10-15 pictures you have to put. You can't buy it. They may not permit also, especially when there is a patent kind of thing on the some designs. So you can ask the legal persons and say. And HIV, AIDS and some contagious diseases, sample photo you cannot put. Sample photo is given, is included in community researches. Examiner doubts whether you have actually collected the data or not, actually went to the field or not. So what we do is, from the back, all the people are sitting here giving in the educational intervention. From back side you can take the photo. So in your sample, research you are mentioning, you gave intervention to 30 people. The examiner can count 30 heads, no problem. Or HIV AIDS person or some other person, you are collecting the data, you can use blurring. Picture can be blurred. So patent IPR is a serious thing. One has to be very careful while including data of others, especially if it is 20-year-old, less than 20-year-old, then the patent still may be there. So that same data you want to apply and innovate, improvise that particular educational method which has patent. You have to wait for 20 years or take permission from the author. So IPR is very, very important. For if you have some innovation you have developed in your research, first thing, yes, you have to apply for IPR. Many people eagerly they go to the press or publish in paper, then it may not be fit for IPR. You cannot apply for patent if you already published the information or it went into the press for other things. So one should be aware of what are the basic things related to IPR. Confidentiality. Protect the privacy of the respondents and confidentiality of the responses. We promise in questionnaire itself that this data will not be disclosed, only kept for research purpose. Identity of the respondent will not be disclosed. So this confidentiality should be ensured. And then, as I said earlier, whoever is participating, from backside you can take the picture or blur. If they are suffering from some contagious disease or some other problem, they should not be exposed and things like that. Next one. Ethics in research continued. Value and acknowledge contributions made by the co-authors, respondent and institutions. In publication, one question is there conflict of interest? It means that if you are not giving credit, maybe that person is a major contributor. Your corresponding author, second author also can be a corresponding author. But you want to put your name first, the major contributor second. So that is also conflict of interest. So conflict of interest has to be resolved before one goes for publication. It happens not only in IITs also. I was coordinator for technology business incubator, where students seek for funding for their innovations. Some of the teachers in Premier Institute, the students pass out of the college. What they do is, their innovation they apply for patent. That is also not correct. Maybe your guide, but innovation is submitted to the university in the name of other person. So patent and the originality, authors have to be acknowledged And you can say that the student is first one and myself is the second one. Always this question arises in many of the institutions. When we are sending for publications, many of the faculty, they include their name as first author. That is not correct. Candidate is always a first author. Faculty is always a second author. Though they are the guide, they would have written the thesis also. The examiner made the faculty is the second author. Student is the first author. Value and acknowledge contributions made by the co-authors, respondents and institutions. Publish the research outcome responsibility without fabricating the data. By changing the data, you can't publish because you are eager to publish. Already one is published, so you want to present in some upcoming conference. There is no time. Change this data and present. It should not be done. Take ethical clearance from concerned committees. So number of committees are there. Animal Ethics Committee. If you are doing research on animals, Animal Ethics Committee. Biosafety, Bioethics Committee. All our food material, Haldirams or Bornvita, this, that, all those they should go through Biosafety and Bioethics Committee. Human Ethics Committee. That is, if you are working on human beings, even social sciences, reproductive health education, you must seek permission both from the parents and also from the candidate. It should also go for Human Ethics Committee. Any data you are collecting, data, if it is invasive techniques only, earlier they used to send it to the Human Ethics Committee, like drawing blood and things like that. Now, every information related to human beings, social sciences or biosciences, it has to go for Human Ethics Committee. Next one. Ethics in research continued. Publishing the same paper in 2 different journals without telling the editors. So, 2 journals you cannot publish by changing the title. Submitting the same paper to 2 different journals without telling the editors. That is also not ethical. Not informing a collaborator of your intent to file a patent in order to make sure that you are the sole inventor. So your co-worker also should be credited in your patent. Including a colleague as an author on a paper in return for a favor, even though the colleague did not make any serious contribution to the paper. It happens in many paid articles. If the articles, international research publications are paid, first 2 authors cannot afford. So what they say is, let us include 2 more people, so ask them to pay the money. So they may be 3rd author, 4th author, without their contribution you can ask. Because your guide may think otherwise, you want to please your guide or HOD. So because HOD, to please HOD, without HOD's contribution also you would include the HOD as one of the authors. That should not also be done. Nowadays the publishers are asking you to mention what is the contribution in the data collection, in writing, analysis, where the contribution there specifically some of the journals are asking. So, discussing with your colleagues confidential data from a paper that you are reviewing for a journal. You are a journal reviewer. So that information you cannot discuss with other authors, other persons. They may take the idea, use it for the development of another research topic. Next one. Plagiarism in research. Plagiarism nothing but stealing, dongataram. Plagiarism in research meaning to steal and pass off the words, ideas of others as one's own, use without giving credit to the source. That is plagiarism. Avoid plagiarism as it takes credit or profit away from original creator of the work, which may mean more trouble if the source takes legal action against you. It is happening in movies also. They are stealing the songs, tunes, stories, everything they are stealing. So stealing is called plagiarism. Next one. Ways to avoid plagiarism in report writing. Cite your source. Avoid citation, add citation indicating full details of the source. That is one way of avoiding plagiarism. Include quotations in their own words if you want to include, because it's very powerful. So you put it in quotes. Using quotation marks around the text to denote that the words are not your own. Paraphrase. It is rewriting a source's ideas or information into your own words without changing its meaning. Present your perspective. Your own view you can always present. Present your own ideas and discuss. However contradictory it is, you can present. You are free to present your perspective. Use a plagiarism checker. Problem with plagiarism checker, which is available online, is it goes into its memory. Again, when you check whatever your original one also, it will become as a plagiarism. So you should not check now and then you while writing. You complete everything, your thesis, bring it to university. University would have purchased a plagiarism checker. Before submitting, you can submit, excluding your references and front pages. It will check and clearly give you where on there is a scope for plagiarism. You rewrite it, again you submit, and it says so much percentage. A certificate is given. That certificate you include in your thesis and submit. Plagiarism checkers are available, but you have to be careful while using the plagiarism checkers online. So specific, some publishers they will mention only this plagiarism checker certificate should be included. That you have to use. Using a standard online plagiarism checker tool approved by the publisher or institution help you catch these issues before submitting your work. Next one. But simple but very valuable topic. You have to be very, very careful while using the tools. And there is nothing wrong in sending. Nowadays, you need not wait for a letter also. You can send a mail, get a response, and include. Especially if you are developing or adapting a tool where you have to give it to 5 subject experts or 10 subject experts, and their response also you must record and keep. These are the corrections they have said. I have included, modified by tool according to it, and then this is the final tool. So everything, recorded evidence should be kept, because to avoid plagiarism and should follow ethics. Because you are writing the, in annexure you are showing the names of the experts who have done the content validity for your tool. So it is important. Any doubts in it? I think sample size and population class is over. No. I think next slide also we can check. I can again come some other day, tomorrow or some other time also. If you have any doubts, I can show. Because the more report writing. I have pasted some of the thesis abstracts also, because more doubts on it. Somebody shown also some of that. Research reporting. Available. Some other people. There in my pen drive. Pen drive is also with you. I've discussed with some of the people in education also. They said for you also education literature people thesis format can also be followed for you. That is MLA style also. Could you paste? Again copy it, no problem. Among us also some people talk very briefly. They give us one word answers. Some would like to explain. Prayanam, how did you go to Hyderabad? How was your travel? They start from their own house, how they started. And then till they got down in the Hyderabad, they will explain 2 hours or 3 hours. Some people in few words, some people maybe little more elaborate. Report writing is also same. It's like creative writing. You must get interested in writing. So I am reporting this. Other person who is reading it will get what doubts in my topic, what doubts in my reporting, what clarification should I give, how I should give. Yes, I gave. How should I find the similarities between my findings and others' findings? If in this area, 70% of the studies are contradictory to your findings. So how should you support? How should you mention contradictories? And why your study has got a different result? That also you can highlight. So thinking while writing is very, very important. It is more like creative writing, and person should be interested in writing, should not get frustrated writing, do not want to finish up as early as possible. If you write 2 tables per day also, it's enough. Within a month you can complete your results and discussion. Research reporting. Scientific communication of research outcome in a standard format is called research reporting. Format is already there. It's stepwise. You should only present your data, tables, and then write. A thesis or dissertation is a systematic and coherent presentation of a scholar's research work in a style accepted in that subject area or discipline. In your own subject area, every subject discipline has a style manual approved by UGC. Your institution should again approve a particular style or a combination of styles. So following that style manual, your dissertation or thesis. Dissertation is lower than a thesis. Dissertation masters we call dissertation, PhD we call thesis. So is presented.
If you don't mind, format of this I should ask.
Pardon?
Format.
Everything is there. In addition, a scholar's research work may be presented in a conference, seminar, and published in any peer-reviewed journal using a format approved by them. Again, each journal has its own format. So in that format only they will ask you to present the information. Next one. Research report writing. A research work after completion is presented in the form of a research article for presentation in a conference or seminar, a research article for publication in journal, a research report for submission to university or college as a partial fulfillment or fulfillment of a degree, a research report to funding agencies. Funding agency gives grant, so to them also you should submit a report. Next. Research article. A research paper consists of an abstract. Abstract is a precise one. Some of the journals, they expect the abstract to be presented in one paragraph without subheadings. But all science journals will expect you to present under different headings. Background includes introduction and little review, methods and materials, results and discussion, or results separately, discussion, conclusion. Mostly it should not exceed 250 to 300 words. Introduction or background in the main article. Methodology, methods and materials. Here also citations will be there. Which tool you are selecting, which year is the tool, that should also be mentioned in the brackets. And then in introduction also citations can be there. Introduction mainly the significance of the study, highlighting statistics is important. And then methodology, or some people use it as a methods and materials. Results. Some articles, science articles will expect results to be presented separately, discussion separately. And some journals publish the tables at the end. Some journals expect you to present the table as part of the text continuously. So tables can be presented separately, results, discussion. And tables and figures should be numbered. Arabic numbers only used for tables, and that's 1, 2, 3, not Roman letters. When you write tables, table, some people write differently. Table 1. Some people write table NO.1. Some people write table number capital letter NO1. But uniformly one model has to be followed. For figures, the title is always given figure number and title at the bottom. For tables, it is given on the top. Results, tables and figures with numbers and titles. Title should be very brief, and here many people dislike giving statistical explanation for the title. Instead of saying the difference between the two samples, control and experimental, you cannot say results of t-test or z-test, like that you should not say. What does it interpret? That you must be seen in the title. Relationship between independent and dependent variables. You should not say the association table. So now it is discouraged. Like what test it is discouraged in the title. Table and figures with numbers and titles. Discussion. Table-wise discussion with supportive studies. While writing the discussion, you can say table 1 reflects, shows, indicates, kind of thing, and then give the information. Again, same numbers should not be repeated. 10%, 20%, like that. Wherever you say it's higher or lower, what does the result indicate? Significant or not significant? What it is, that should be indicated. Not whatever the contents of the table should not be repeated. You have to interpret and give the result. Discuss. Conclusion. Final findings with implications at the end. of the study. Conclusion, again, some people take out the same findings and write in the conclusion. Not that. Implications of the study, and finally what is the outcome. Which group is doing better, what is the effect of the study, you can write, and then at the end you can include the implications of the study. How it is useful, how it can be utilized by others in the subject field or to the community. References. In alphabetical order, in APA or MLA format has to be given. Many publications, they expect more of references. When you cite sciences, they say at least minimum 30 international journals, 30 references. Meaning, same thing may be cited by many people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Where citing the authors, here, semicolon, next author, semicolon, semicolon. If it is Vancouver style, you are putting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you are organizing the authors list as per the citation in the text. Here, when you are using alphabetical order, you have to take down all authors, put it on a separate table, write down, cross-check whether everything is included or not. Especially here you have to be very careful. Same author with different co-authors has published in the same year, that also should be included. Note, citations in APA or MLA style are to be used throughout the text. In brackets you have to use. Many people have a doubt that author name citation is full stop after the citation or before the citation. I complete the sentence, put full stop, then give the citation. Or I put the give the citation, put the full stop at the end. Put the end is the right one. So many doubts we get. We can always refer to other models. Next one. This is our dissertation organization. Title page. It is a single page unnumbered. We don't number the title page. Next one is a copyright page. Single page Roman numeric. If you are funded research, received grant from somebody, copyright goes to them. So copyright page, many funded institutions they ask. If it is not relevant, you can leave it. Copyright is the author, then that template you can take and say that it's self-funded, individual funded. So you can write the copyright. Single page Roman numeric. Dedication. Single page Roman numeric. This is optional. Dedication. Dedicated to parents, dedicated to this, that. Some people do not encourage also. So dedication is optional. It's not mandatory. Next one is declaration. This is mandatory. Single page Roman numeric. See, wherever we say Roman numeric, always alphabet, Arabic numeric starts only with the introduction. All others are Roman numeric only. Certificate, plagiarism certificate or certificate from the guide saying that this work is done by her under my supervision and she has not earlier submitted to for any degree, award of any degree kind of thing. This certificate is from the research supervisor. Mandatory single page Roman numeric. Plagiarism certificate, mandatory single page Roman numeric. Acknowledgement or acknowledgements. Everybody, those who helped in statistical analysis, data collection, many people forget to acknowledge, record thanks to the subjects or sample. Without them, your research is not complete. You must also acknowledge all those people who have cooperated for your study. As a whole group, you can say, I thank all the subjects or students who participated in the study, or parents who participated in the study for their cooperation, kind of thing. Acknowledgement, single page, Roman numeric. Sometimes it exceeds 1 page, 2 page also acknowledgements. It's permitted also. Abstract mandated, single page Roman numeric. All thesis dissertations should place their abstract. It's compulsory. Some subjects, sciences, they ask the candidate to include conceptual framework also. Here it is not compulsory for you, but abstract is compulsory. It should be 1 page. Precise writing should be used for abstract. Next one. Thesis or dissertation organization continued. List of publications. Before submitting your thesis, you have already published. Not their copies, their list can be included. Mandatory multiple Roman numeric. Table of contents. What is there in the thesis? Mandatory multiple Roman numeric. List of tables. What tables you have include. Even in introduction, some people add a table. Even in review of literature, some tables they may add. So it should be continuous numbers. Table numbers should start from the beginning of thesis to the end of the thesis. Not only for results and discussion. It should be numbered. Figures or flowcharts also should be numbered from the beginning. So list of tables, mandatory, multiple Roman numeric. List of figures, mandatory, multiple Roman numeric. For example, locale of the study you are including AP map and Chittur map. That's also a figure. So that is also should be included. List of plates. You are putting photos. That is list of plates. List of abbreviations. You are using some abbreviations. That list also has to be presented. These all will come before introduction. Front pages. Next one. Thesis or dissertation organization continued. Introduction chapter 1. From here we start the Arabic number. Usually it is less than 10 pages. Some 5 pages like that. Less than 5 to 10 pages. Aim, at the end of introduction, some people include as a separate one, not a chapter. Aim, objectives, research problem statement, hypothesis. Null hypothesis, alternative or research hypothesis. H01, H02, H03 like that. HA1, HA2 like that. So, at the end, some people include hypothesis. Finally, they don't state whether they have rejected or accepted the hypothesis. That is also must. So, hypothesis, aim, objectives, research problem statement, hypothesis in Arabic numbers. Next comes review of literature, chapter 2. Methodology, chapter 3, Arabic number. Results and discussion, chapter 4, Arabic numbers. Summary and conclusion, chapter 5, Arabic numbers. Next. After summary and conclusion, we include limitations of the study. That is, what is lacking. We don't state it so openly because the examiner will catch hold of us. Some generalized thing will include, like it should have been taken in all over Andhra Pradesh or some other state or something like that. Limitations of the study, 1 or 2 or 3 are limitations of the study should be mentioned. Implications of the study. What are the uses of your study? That you can mention. Anyway, in Viva Voce they'll ask, what are the implications of your study? Suggestions for further study. Suggestions of further study is not mandatory, optional, but appreciated. So the same study can be replicated, it can be conducted in some other state. Because your tool has been translated in Telugu, this tool can be used in Telangana, or because yours is Sanskrit national language, you can say it can be tested. The English tool has been translated in Sanskrit, it can be used all over in India or some other thing like that. So the suggestions for further study can be there. References or bibliography. Mandatory Arabic numbers only. Appendix or annexes. All your questionnaires and list of experts or list of other things. If you have developed an intervention manual, that manual also will appear in the appendix or annexure, whatever it is. So these are the this is how we organize our research. Next, sample abstract. This is for social sciences. One paragraph. If you see 2 lines for introduction, 3 lines for aim, objectives compulsorily stated, and then 2 lines for tools, results, conclusion. All results we don't write. 1 or 2 results. 1 result we write, and then because the person has to seeing the abstract, they should get and interested in reading your research article. So it should catch the attention of the reader. So abstract is used for in seminars, conferences, they publish the abstract. So abstract indicates your face value of your research. This is usually 200 to 250 to 300 words, not more than usually 250 words or 200 to 300 words, this way or this way. And nowadays we can count the numbers in laptop or desktop also. This is how we write the abstract. Next. Introduction, statement of problem, aim of the study, objectives of the study, research hypothesis. This is, I have taken from, I wanted to say that I have taken example of JNTU Anantapur, Avinash Lingam DMD University, Coimbatore, for organization of thesis, our own university also. So how they give the breakup? This is our own university. Introduction, statement of problem, aim of the study, objective of the study. Introduction, after introduction, first chapter, this will appear. Next one. Sample review of literature, JNTU Anantapur. You see 2.1, this is about development of a food product. 2.1, 2.1.1 also they gave in 2.1. Functional beverages, fortification of fruit juices with antioxidants, recent development of functional beverages in beverage industries. 2.2, antioxidants in fruit and fruit juices. 2.3, phenolic content. Next one is 2.4, sorghum. 2.4.1, bodily discipline of sorghum. 2.4.2, potential application of sorghum phenolic compounds as antioxidants. 2.5, gaps in knowledge. Second chapter, they collected information related to the topic, presented meaningfully under various subheadings. At the end, they have highlighted the gaps in this. He wanted to say that nobody developed from the sorghum this particular product. From the review, he highlighted. This is from JNT. Next one. University of Agricultural Sciences, that is Dharwad, Review of Literature. Concepts and definition, theories related to life skill education and skill-based approach. 2.3, life skills among tribal and non-tribal adolescents. The study is on tribal, but comparatively they have wanted to present information related to non-tribals also. 2.4, life skills and socio-demographic factors, life skills and personality traits. This is about achievement, studying, but they have personality traits also they have included. 2.6, life skills and academic competence. 2.7, importance of life skill education. 2.8, impact of intervention on life skills. Here, instead of gaps in knowledge, they have overview they have presented. Earlier, while talking about ROL, I have said, you can give an overview that what are the gaps are there, mainly which area is overdone, which area is understudied, all these things can be overviewed. This is the sample overview from one is Karnataka, one is Andhra Pradesh, that is JNTUA, our own university are presented. Next. How to write a review? Many people were asking. Should I state the objectives? Should I write somebody's aim objectives, their hypothesis and things? You do not do that. Sample write-up of our one section 2.1, educational aspiration. Under that, whatever the review you go through, in that there may be content related to your explanation that you present here. There, it need not be chronological also. So somebody would have cited whatever he thought of, wanted to present at the top. That may be 2023. You can present top. And then organize the matter and then present it with relevant studies. For an intro. And then it can be followed by empirical studies. Next one. Methodology, locale of the study, sample frame. Methodology sections are like this, development of tools. This is from our university. This is on obesity. They have done the pilot study also. Research, locale of the study, sample frame, sample selection, research design, relationship between independent and dependent variables in the form of a flow chart you can give. Followed by definition of each variable. Development of tools. You have selected a tool, somebody's tool, adapted it, or developed your own tool. Development of tools. Pilot study. On what size of sample pilot study is conducted, how it was conducted, what statistics are done to establish reliability, validity. All this can be given in pilot study. Data collection. Intervention program. Here they have done on obesity, educational intervention program. You develop a manual under obesity. Manual, how you have developed the manual, you can give there. Statistical analysis, IEC clearance. This should be presented under methodology. These are the sections under methodology. Next. Sample results and discussion of Avinash Lingam Deemed University. They have conducted a study on MOOCs. General profile of the selected respondents. MOOCs factors, course related. Somebody asked me about ICT. MOOCs factors, course related and technical. MOOCs retention among the selected respondents. MOOCs satisfaction among the selected respondents. self-regulation among the selected respondents, self-efficacy among the selected respondents, inter-relationship between self-regulation, self-efficacy, MOOCs factors, MOOCs retention and MOOCs satisfaction, influence of self-regulation, self-efficacy, MOOCs factors on MOOCs retention and MOOCs satisfaction. So whatever they have collected the data, some people have a tradition of organizing the results and discussion as per the objectives. Some people organize the results and discussion as per the questioning. Some people organize the results and discussion as per the hypothesis formulated, so that it is easier that after each hypothesis you can say whether it is accepted or rejected. So 3 types are followed. Next one. Sample thesis organization. This is the last chapter. Summary and conclusion, reference and actions. Next one. I have copied some articles and some thesis also. Actually, this is somebody else's, we should not be sharing with regard to ethical concerns, which has come for valuation kind of thing. Because you are interested in knowing how it has to be written. So writing is an art. Standard format should be followed. First, keep each table relevant to select the title, number them, collect the supportive studies and put it in a file for table 1 separately, table 2, table 3, table 4 separately. There should not be overlapping of the same one, and what has been presented in ROL cannot be repeated here. It should be a different one. It's not that from the same author, same thing cannot be repeated. Same passage cannot be repeated, but otherwise result cannot be repeated. I mean, some other result in a different words, it can be shown here. So this is how you write the thing. And if you start writing it, you will get interested and you will feel that you have achieved something, and you will become an expert, because you are all going to continue in the field of teaching. It is important that you must develop skills in report writing. Thank you. What I advise is, each of you select a research article, and what you do is, from the article, on a piece of paper, you write the topic, locale of the study, population, sample size, which method followed for sample selection, what are the tools used, what is the type of tool, nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio or discrete, continuous, what is the one, and then what is the analysis method used, what is the design. In the beginning, in abstract itself, we write the study design. Thus, it is a cross-sectional study. It is an observational study conducted on a sample of 200 women attending a particular program in this particular area, aged between 35 to 45 years, like that. In one go, we'll write. So, sir, what is the design used in that particular study? Problem statement, you try to discuss how it is stated, what is the sample size. You are already underwent a class. As per your class, is the sample size correct? Method correct? It's only for us to refine ourselves in methodology. We can have a discussion. Few of you can present. Not the same people who started talking. I am present in even I am interested in English, Hindi also. I watch some Hindi serials also. So no problem in my Hindi. I can understand.
Is it out? Not out.
Hindi or
Do you
English,
know
whatever it
population and the
is.
sample? Clear?
One research article. He also discussed with me, person sitting here in morning. About ROL he discussed. He selected an article. He showed me the ROL, how they have presented. It's interesting. There's nothing right and wrong. All of us are learning stage. Be free, happily come and present. Nobody will look down. Even if they look down, their headache. Those who are looking down at others, it's their headache. Because the person who is presenting with mistake is going to outgrow the person who has laughed. So laughing is not a greatness. So we should not feel shy or hold back. If you are not coming back now, you have to be in this place tomorrow. So take every opportunity to come out and talk. If you see the villagers how they are talking, even a chief minister office, they are grabbing the mic and talking. Uneducated rural women are talking.
A study for a research thesis and a study for a research paper. So if I want to do a research paper, so the same rules and regulations should I follow for the research paper also?
Yes, research paper is usually what is, many people will conveniently publish 5 papers from one research thesis. There's a demographic variables, they break down into variable level. One paper they do. 1-2 variables they take, combine with the demographic variable, one paper they do. Or one variable or one tool they take, combine with 2 variables, they publish one paper. Like that. And medical people will publish 10 papers out of one thesis also. Depends upon the parameters.
Same work should
No,
be
that
done for the
methodology
research
when you are stating, no, different words you have to state because you should not. First paper enthusiastically include everything from your thesis. Second paper will have.
The thesis, how much you are working for a research. The same work should be done for the paper also, research paper also.
If you are publishing a paper from your research, already you are doing, that can be presented. If you are doing an independent research,
Yes.
many people, when they go to your own area also, you are going for a community work. You want to teach Sanskrit poems for people like me to read in puja. So that also you can collect data. Community work or NSS work, they are going, many people what they do is a small brief checklist or some questionnaire they develop.
Small data is enough for research paper.
Yes, enough.
Because I'll give an example. I actually want to know how many government students in Chennai, government school students in Chennai from 6 to 8 are interested in learning Sanskrit.
Okay.
So if I do it in a whole Tamil Nadu level, it becomes a big research.
Big, huge one for a paper.
So for a Chennai alone?
Only here, size of the temple, depth of the research. If the depth of the research is great, many tools you are going to use, sample size can be limited. And if only the interest you are collecting, yes or no. Would you like to study Sanskrit as one of the papers, or switch over to Sanskrit itself?
Actually, that area is very problematic area. In Tamil Nadu, they hate Hindi and Sanskrit. So my questions will be very much.
They are the best in Hindi and Sanskrit, I find.
Yeah, I know, but
see, I hope that though we welcome Andhrites, not expert in any of the languages, including our own mother tongue. We don't feel proud to talk in our own language in all platforms. It is Tamils. I can proudly say that they talk in some of the states which are economically backward, culturally advanced, culturally great, like great heritage they have. They are also strong. People are strong. They own their language. They are proud to speak in their language, and they are well versed in a language. Tamil also like that. It's not that they don't want to keep other languages on their top. They don't want to give the priority. There also the livelihood opportunities is the basis.
When I go to take permissions, I need to take permission from the government to conduct a study in government schools. So there itself I get a problem when I take this topic. So my question will be very soft, that it should not affect, I should not go in their curriculum. Just interest in Sanskrit they have or not.
Maybe that headmaster, you must convince, say, sir, it's only a research purpose. I am collecting, whether they are interested or not in learning the Sanskrit. Which school you went, it is also important. Maybe
I should take from the whole government, the education department, I should take the permission first.
Yes.
Then only they will permit in the
yeah, no problem. You can, after school also, take the permission from collect the details from the students list, and then ask the concerned teacher or parents permission you take from they assemble or something, collect the phone number of the student. Now, best thing is Google form.
No, that yesterday I talked, online will be many errors wake up. So,
Google form, many advanced medical studies are being conducted. We have developed Google form. Our data uploading is also very easy. It will give data, generates data. One page questionnaire saying that phone number you take and parent's phone number will be there in the school. Send them, call them, say fill and send it. They'll fill and send it.
Will I get the correct data? Because yesterday when Kadrivan sir was saying, the male will give a female data, they just tick it, okay. When we go and explain the detail.
Now here there is no, you are only collecting the opinion. Are you interested in learning Sanskrit as one of the languages? Yes or no? You are not going to forcefully drag them into learning Sanskrit. You are only collecting the thing. So they have removed Telugu. It was a combined state along with Orissa. And we stayed longer than Orissa with Tamil Nadu. And there are plenty, sizable percentage of population, Telugu population in Tamil Nadu. Telugu has been removed as one of the language from Tamil Nadu.
Ma'am, I would like to ask our students is already how much they understand. For example, I would like to give one example. The 9th class, the attitude of 9th class students towards learning of Sanskrit, towards learning of English. The attitude of 9th class students, a study on attitude of 9th class students towards learning of English. This is the title. What is the population?
Area-wise
They are already into learning English, no, sir. 9th
No,
class.
ma'am. Why? Because I am giving this example. It applies for the entire the world, or entire the state, or entire the nation. How they confined. That's why I have given this example. First means our population means is it covers entire the world? Entire the world it covers? No. How can you say? My statement is this one. A study on the attitude of 9th class students towards learning English. Why don't come the entire state, entire the world?
Sir, future learning of English, because they are all.
Why? Because how to confine the state level or district level? Is there any?
Okay.
That's why I have given this example. How to confine this level, state level, or central, or national level, or international level? Is there any?
It depends upon the studies. It depends upon
Sir,
what you need.
students have to take how to confine the sample or how to limitation of that sample. What is meant by sample? How to take the. That's why I have given this example, ma'am.
The sir is saying population. All the 9th class.
Attitude of 9th class.
9th class students, male, female,
Male.
rural, urban, tribal.
Irrespective of, and towards learning of English. Why? Because it covers
Any medium of instruction.
But
Because
the
if it is
population-
English medium, they are already into learning English.
Madam, the students have one doubt, madam. Population means within the state or within the country or within the world. How to take the population?
Population is infinite. Universe is the population.
Yes.
That is the reason why locale of the study in research we use. Locale of the study means where you are conducting the research. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, North Karnataka, South Karnataka, West Karnataka.
In general statement. Attitude of 9th class.
In locale of the study, that is the reason we give a map also. Map, geographical map of that area also will give. We highlight in color our study area. So this, whatever is their attitude towards a researcher, but we come from with the DEO permission. You bring somebody with you from the DEO office or one of the teachers from the school. Sir, he only just want to collect the opinion as a researcher. It has the direction has come from the DEO office. Simple 5 questions. Are you interested in learning Sanskrit? Would you like to study Sanskrit from 9th class?
This will be like a checklist
Next
or-
class.
The tool will be checklist or how?
Checklist only. Yes or no? Yes or no? If you want rating,
The tools depends upon the
strongly interested. So always in tools, yes or no is not preferable unless it is nominal. Even for, though it is categorical, ordinal also it is always preferable to have an option because the Likert is the best
And I
Likert.
have-
5-point scale.
If this is my population is 6th to 8th standard children, can they understand, agree, disagree on all 5?
Oh, they understand better than me and you.
Okay.
The nowadays children, no? Finally they understand. Even village women, they have. First we must say that it is better than this. Do not agree. Disagree. Strongly disagree. Disagree. Agree. Strongly agree. Very strongly agree. 5. So,
That's the point.
livelihood opportunities is the thing parents are interested. They may say that for next course admission, this may not be, languages will be removed and admission will be given.
Okay.
That is the reason. Otherwise,
नमो गुरुभ्यो गुरुपादुकाभ्यो नमो नमः नमः सभायै राष्ट्रीय संस्कृत विश्वविद्यालय एवं च सेवारत शिक्षक केन्द्रस्य तत्त्वावधानेन द्विसप्ताहात्मिका जायमाना द्विसप्ताहात्मिका राष्ट्रीय कार्यशालायाः शैक्षिक अनुसन्धान विधिविषये अद्य नवमदिनस्य द्वितीयसत्रे स्मः वयम्। अस्मिन् सत्रे अस्माकं कृते अनुसन्धानविषये प्रोफेसर डी शारदा महोदय टाइप्स ऑफ एरर एवं च रिसर्च एथिक्स इन रिसर्च रिपोर्ट आर्टिकल एवं च थेसिस डिजाइन इत्यादि विषयम् आधारीकृत्य अस्माकं कृते बोधितवत्यः। अतः विश्वविद्यालयपक्षतः सेवाकेन्द्रपक्षतः कार्यशालापक्षतः ताभ्यः महोदयाभ्यः हार्दान् धन्यवादान् वितनोमि। एवं च अस्माकं कार्यशालायाः निदेशकेभ्यः पी वेंकटराव महोदयेभ्यः धन्यवादान् वितनोमि। एवं च संयोजकेभ्यः चंद्रशेखर महोदयेभ्यः अपि मत्पक्षतः धन्यवादान् वितनोमि। अन्ये सहसंयोजकेभ्यः तेषामपि धन्यवादान् वितनोमि। अस्माकं विभागात् आगतवन्तः अन्य अध्यापकाः बहिस्तात् विश्वविद्यालयात् आगतवन्तः अध्यापकानां कृतेपि मत्पक्षतः धन्यवादान् वितनोमि। एवं च कार्यक्रमस्य प्राणभूताः छात्राणां कृते शोधछात्राणां कृते विभागपक्षतः धन्यवादान् वितीर्य अमुम् अवकाशं कल्पितेभ्यः धन्यवादान् वितीर्य नमस्ते।
अस्यां कार्यशालायां समावेत्य आचार्य जसोदावर्याः अस्मान् शारदावर्याः अस्मान् प्रथमदिनारभ्य एव उद्बोधितवत्यः। अतः अस्याः कार्यशालायाः पक्षतः विद्यालयपक्षतः किञ्चित् सम्माननं भविष्यति। अतः महोदयाः प्रार्थयामि मंचोपरि आगच्छन्तु इति।